Welcome to the Sea Files, folks. I'll be doing one on the road today. Things have been busy lately. I've got a sick dog that I need to go pick up and take to the vet, so that's what I'm doing right now. And I'll drive back down the driveway here. But we're going to talk because it's been a while, been a few days, and you know, this is an opportunity. I was looking on the weather yesterday. I really wanted to get on here yesterday, but I wasn't able to. CrossFit Open is coming up on Friday for the next 3 Friday nights. I will be participating. So everybody get excited for the CrossFit Open. And I'm a big fan of CrossFit. I think it's benefited a lot of people in a lot of ways. So now the TV version won't be until later. This is a competition that occurs all across the world. CrossFit gyms across the world participate. And so people who attend those gyms sign up on CrossFit.com to participate in the Open. This is the Open 2025. And then they get ranked. And the highest ranked ones move on to the next step. So that's how it works. Then eventually you get to the ones that are the top ranked CrossFitters, and that's the ones you see on TV. Now, don't expect to see me on TV, folks, when it comes to CrossFit. I am not that good. I cannot even begin to compete with those guys. But I can tell you that I'm in a lot better shape now than I used to be. Okay, so let's talk for a moment about what's happening in the government. People who don't really understand what's happening, they're freaking out. They're thinking that the federal government is being dismantled. I mean, this is what they're being told by the Mockingbird media, the mainstream Mockingbird media. And so let me just begin by saying this. I'm going to name some things off, and if you don't know what these things are, and you don't know what they have to do with the dismantling of a corrupt bureaucracy in the United States federal government, then you really don't understand what's happening. And you don't understand why the Trump administration is doing what they are doing. So let me begin with the Tavistock Institute. I'm just going to name what they are. You're going to have to figure out what they have to do with what's happening in the world today. The Tavistock Institute, MK Ultra, Operation Paperclip, Operation Mockingbird, Operation Bluebeam, Project 21, Project 2030, Fast and Furious, the New World Order, The Great Reset, which is also a book that Klaus Schwab wrote. He wrote 2 of them that had to do with the Great Reset and the World Economic Forum and their plans for the world. These are just a few of the things. There are many others, but these are just a few that if you don't know what they are, if you don't understand them, you do not understand what's going on in the world. Now, if you go to do your research, you're going to have to do it other than Google. Google will censor or give you false information when it comes to research on any of those things that I named off. You'll have to do an alternate research platform, like Bing or something like that. in order to get the truth when it comes to these organizations. Now, you have to understand, folks, what Trump is doing is affecting a worldwide operation. And the purpose of that worldwide operation was, number one on the agenda, to take down the United States. And they had three things they had to do to destroy the United States as we know it. And this was part of the end game. See, they'd already done a lot of other things beforehand. This is what they're working on now. And this is what got disrupted. And this is why they're angry and they're screaming and hollering about it. Number one, they wanted to destroy the middle class. You could not have Klaus Schwab's Great Reset without destroying the middle class. Number two, they wanted to destroy the family. You could not be successful in what they were planning for us if the family was intact. And number three, they wanted to destroy the church. And you could not accomplish what they wanted to accomplish for the rest of us if the church was intact. So you can see there's been an economic attack against the middle class. There's been an attack on family by gender confusion, transvidism. Recently there was it the governor of Maine, I believe I have that right, that was changed mother on a birth certificate to some other name, naturally, I think it was naturally inseminated or something like that, some stupid name like that. You understand, that's not her being stupid, that's her carrying out the agenda. And the agenda is to destroy any concept of mother and father and children, right? The traditional family, to destroy that and to turn it into something different. Why? Because it's a part of the 2030 agenda. It's a part of the Great Awakening, not the Great Awakening, the Great Reset. It's a part of the New World Order, which Bush talked about, the first President Bush talked about in one of his inauguration speeches. I think he talked about it in his address to Congress as well. He talked a lot about the New World Order. And if you want to know what that is, if you read Klaus Schwab's books, you'll know what it is. Because Klaus Schwab lays it out. You see, these globalists, they admit to everything. They put it in the movies. You watch the movies like The Matrix, like The Truman Show. You can go down a list of movies where they have been telling us exactly what they wanted to do with us. And we don't see it. We're blind to it. What do they want to do? Well, Project 2030 includes 15-minute cities, 24-hour-a-day surveillance, a social credit score. You will have nothing and be happy, as Klaus Schwab said. Eating bugs, not allowed to have meat. You have to eat bugs for your protein, while they have their steak. This was their plan. This is what they wanted to do to us. Why do you think these places are being burned out, like Maui, like East LA, places like that? It's part of the agenda, folks. It's part of the agenda. You say you're a conspiracy theorist. I love it when people say that. because it takes me right back to the Warren Report. You see, the CIA being a part of the agenda and really a major player in the Tavistock Institute. Oh, what's the Tavistock Institute? Well, if you're listening to MSNBC, ABC, CBS, Fox News, CNN, you're never going to know what the Tavistock Institute is, because they are a part of the Mockingbird media, Operation Mockingbird. That was a CIA operation. You know, when Anderson Cooper is asked about Project Mockingbird, which there's a video out there where a guy asked him about that, he admits that it existed. Oh, you're talking about something back in the 1950s. Well, they're never going to admit that it still exists and is still being implemented. Cooper admitted on one of his, I don't know, LinkedIn or whatever it was, he was trained by the CIA, never had any journalistic training. You know, take that however you want to take it. I mean, that's what he put out, not me. But they are pushing this because the globalists want total control over humanity. Well, this is what Trump is dismantling. If you don't know what the Tavistock Institute, then you don't understand psychological warfare. You don't understand what MK Ultra is. What's MK Ultra? Okay, you remember Timothy Leary and all of the LSD experiments of the 1960s? That was a subsidiary of MK Ultra, a CIA operation. I've done my research. I've known this for years, but you could never really talk about it on YouTube. So why is the bureaucracy squawking so much? Their agenda is being torn down. Number one. Number two, their corruption is being found out. Number three, their money source is being cut off to push these operations and to pay off the people involved in them. So they're going to be squawking. When Schumer said the intelligence agency has 100 ways from tomorrow to get at you if you oppose them, he wasn't kidding. It's true. He spoke the truth. They know how to get at people. They're very, very good at it. Once again, a product of the Tavistock Institute. That's where the original concepts of mind control came from, was the Tavistock Institute. It's been in operation since the end of World War II. And MI6, the CIA, have been heavily involved, along with the Mossad out of Israel, heavily involved with Tavistock Institute experimentation and mind control implementation, along with putting out all kinds of social, psychological, mind control misinformation from the mainstream Mockingbird media. So people who wonder, I don't understand what, and they complain about the stock market going down, they complain about tariffs and all of this kind of stuff. They don't understand the whole picture of what's going on. I have spent years buying the books, reading the books written by the globalists. I've spent years buying the books of the people who have been exposing the globalists and reading them. I've been spending years observing what's been happening. I am no Alex Jones. He's way ahead of me. But I can tell you this. I know enough to know that Trump has stirred the hornet's nest. When he walked in for the second term, this was not a normal election, like he said. It's true. Because this is a global, non-kinetic war that's being fought. It's World War III, but it's not a kinetic war, meaning a shooting war. It's a psychological war. It's an info war. I mean, I don't want to take Alex Jones's trademark away. I would never do that. But it's accurate. There's an information war. And I've known people that have bought into the Tavistock Institute mind manipulation through the Mockingbird media, Operation Mockingbird. And they believe everything put out by the media. And so their thinking is twisted on what's happening. They don't understand the real world and how things are happening. Covert operations are not just for James Bond movies or Mission Impossible. They really do occur. I mean, when you learn that there are 18 agencies, there are 18 different intelligence agencies in the United States, folks, that's a lot of surveillance. That's a lot of intelligence gathering. And so what the globalists wanted to do is take that apparatus and turn it against the American people. And they have been extremely successful at it. Remember, destroy the middle class, destroy the family, destroy the church. So we talked about the middle class and the family. What about the church? How are they destroying the church? They're bringing in operatives into the clergy to become pastors, and those pastors are pushing critical race theory in the church. They're pushing, they're taking passages of scripture and they are taking them out of context and using them for their purpose. Anytime the church stands for true doctrine, oh, you just hate the poor. Oh, you're just racist. Oh, this or the other thing. Oh, we need social justice. The Bible talks about social justice. All of that, folks, is an operation by these covert agencies to take down the church. Because anything that is true, doctrinal, historic Orthodox doctrinal Christianity must be taken down, and they use these misinformation or this misuse of scripture means to do it. And they do it in such a way that people just buy into it and believe it. But what has happened is that the people have woken up, and the Trump administration is fully awake as to what's going on. And the 2030 agenda is being exposed. And they can't meet the 2030 agenda now. So the plans to completely and totally lock us down, like they had planned to do in their role play called Project 21, and to use the medical industry to do it through these health agencies that are proclaiming these pandemics and using that to shut down businesses, to lock people into their homes, and all of this kind of stuff. Wear masks. Do you understand when they told us to wear masks that they were just making a mockery of us? They were mocking us with the whole mask thing. And the 6 feet thing, staying 6 feet apart, remember that? That was a mockery. Why 6? Well, because a lot of these folks are Satan worshipers, and what is 6? 666. The number of the beast. Right? I mean, they don't even understand the book of Revelation. They don't understand prophecy. They don't understand any of that stuff. And they sold the Western church into a false understanding of prophecy. That's another thing. I'll be talking about that. And believing in stuff that's not accurate. And so, yes, we're living in a world of deception, in a world of lies. And so, getting back to what I was going to say about the Warren Report and the CIA, the term conspiracy theorist or conspiracy theory was used by the Warren Report to delegitimize anyone who would question the legitimacy of the Warren Report. And the Warren Report was a report that was the official report put out over the JFK assassination. I was 3 years old when JFK was assassinated. I didn't understand what was going on. I was too young, but I remember the adults being quite upset about that incident. You see, Kennedy was against the New World Order. He was against the Tavistock Institute. He was against MK Ultra. He was against Operation Paperclip. He was against a lot of the things that they were doing, even in the early 60s. The mind control techniques. He talked about it in his speeches. And Eisenhower even warned about the military-industrial complex. But that was just the tip of the iceberg, folks. So why do I support the Trump administration? Because it is tearing down the New World Order globalist agenda. And anything that tears that down gets my support. That's how it works. What about tariffs? Are tariffs going to cause prices to go up? Well, if it was only tariffs, yes, prices would go up for any goods that would be shipped into the United States. But anything that is produced domestically inside the country and sold inside the country, no, it would not affect them as far as prices, unless the cost of making that particular product is affected by materials being shipped in from outside the country to make it, then that could affect the cost. But if tariffs are used as the means of funding the federal government, which, by the way, will be a third of what it is today, once they get finished dismantling the waste, fraud, abuse, and the redundancy in the federal government, it'll be a third the size of what it is today, and even more efficient than it is today. So the cost of operating the government goes down, so you don't need as much, so the tariffs would do it. Well, the prices are they go up. Well, hold on a minute. The other goal is to get rid of the income tax. Well, that helps to bring prices down. Oh, and how about, and it gives more people more money to buy the goods and to save money and so forth. And to deregulate. When you deregulate, prices go down. The thing that drives the prices of cars so high is all of the regulation on how these cars are to be made, especially when it comes to the engines and all of the EPA standards, the CAFE standards concerning CO2 emissions and all of that. That drives, the type of electronics, machinery, I don't know, what do you call it, the parts that go onto an engine to meet those standards. They're very expensive. And those standards being taken away, you don't have to put those expensive parts on the engine. So the engine lasts longer. They don't break like the new engines are doing now, because new engines are so heavily burdened under the what's required to go on them from EPA standards. It's destroying these engines at 100,000 miles. And so you have engines that last longer, the gas mileage gets better, they're cheaper to build, and so the price of cars comes down. So it wouldn't matter if there are tariffs in that case. The tariffs might bring the price a little bit up, but it evens out, or it's still down from where it was before. That's the point. So you got to see the big picture. But we've been taught by the Mockingbird media to only see a very narrow view of what's going on. We don't see the big picture because we haven't broken away from the Matrix. We haven't climbed outside the wall of the Truman Show. We're still stuck in the Truman Show. We're still stuck in the Matrix. And if you're stuck in the Matrix and you're stuck in the Truman Show, you're going to believe whatever you're told. And you're going to believe every lie and deception that's out there. And you're going to think that's the real world when it's not. All right, we're almost to my destination, so I'm going to cut it off here. I wanted to talk about that because everybody's getting all caught up in the details of everything the Trump administration's doing, all the executive orders, and, minute by minute updates on, what the Trump administration's doing, what the bureaucracy's doing to counter Trump and all of this kind of stuff. But nobody's putting out the big picture, what's really going on. This war between the Trump administration and the deep state, it's a global war. And it's a deadly serious war. The people Trump is taking down, or the system that they created that he's taking down, was designed to destroy us. And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, a Libertarian, or a Republican, it was designed to destroy you, to destroy your family, to destroy your middle class income, and to destroy your church. So if all you can see is, the stock market dropped, oh no, it's panic time. If that's all you see, then you're deceived and you can't see the big picture. Oh, they're dismantling the federal government. If that's all you see, then you don't see the big picture, and you're deceived, and you don't understand what's going on. Educate yourself. I believe that God is orchestrating this, and that once we're going to go through some pain, folks. This is not going to be an easy thing. We're going to go through some pain fixing these issues and these problems. But once we get to the other side of the pain, it's going to be a whole lot better than it's ever been in my lifetime. It's painful to cut out cancer, but once you're healed, you feel a whole lot better. And that's where we are. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. And if you're a praying person, pray for this dog. It's my daughter's dog. We love this dog. And she's really sick. So, thank you. Love you guys. Catch you later. Bye.